Hello everyone, this is Amar.adel and welcome to a new video from our SAT practice. This video will be helpful for those who are going to take the SAT test, ACT test and EST test. So today we're going to focus on writing a language, specifically idioms and conventional expressions. So first, what are idioms? Idioms are common phrases that must be used in the same way or with the same words. So, for example, if we look at this question here, the first sketch is similar with the second one. And we have this underlined portion, similar with. As you can see here, it doesn't feel right to say similar with the second one. So actually option A is not correct. Now let's look at the other options. Which one sounds right? Which one sounds correct to your ears? Yeah, you got it. It's option C. So we say similar to. But similar without preposition is not correct, and similar for also doesn't sound right. So these kind of phrases that always come together, they are called idioms. In your test, you're going to have one or two questions that depend on idioms and conventional expressions. There are two types of conventional expressions that may come in the SAT test. The first one are words paired with specific prepositions. So, for example, we have similar to, stand on, argue with, or insist on. And also the second type is correlative conjunctions. Those are also some expressions that come together like either or, neither nor, such that, and whether or, not only but also. Unfortunately, idioms have no rule, but try to depend on your instinct. This is actually what is going to help you. Does it feel right? Ask yourself. Does it feel right? So, should we say depend in, for example, here? Is it depend in? It sounds wrong to me. So, actually, we should say depend on. In the same way, you're going to answer your questions in the SAT test. One more tip. Be careful of the slang language. If you read this example here, she should have worked hard. It may sound right to your ear. However, if you look closely, you will look at this word of. Should of. Is it of? Well, this is not correct. It should be should have, should have. So when you pronounce them quickly, especially in slang, they may sound the same, like should have, should have. However, in written passages, we should go for the formal language, should have. So this one is the correct answer. So if you found any of these phrases, you know that they are always wrong. Could have, should have, would have, all of them are wrong. And instead, you would replace them with the word have, could have, or should have, depending on the passage itself for sure. Now let's do some examples. When I first started running as a child, I never thought that I'd ever get the chance to be representative of my local club at the Sydney Regional Finals. Once you're reading that, you will feel that it doesn't feel right. Actually, I'm going to cancel no change. Now let's look at the options. If I'm not sure, I'm going to try all the options and see which one feels more comfortable, feels more normal. So let's try option B. I'd ever get the chance in representing my local club. Well, this one doesn't feel right also. Let's try option C. In representation of. I'd ever get the chance in representation of my local club. Again, this one doesn't sound correct. So we are left with the last one. Here we are using the process of elimination. If you remember it, we mentioned it in our previous video. P-O-E, the process of elimination. If we're not sure, we eliminate the other answers and then we are left with the correct answer. So I'd ever get the chance to represent my local club. This one is the correct answer. Now let's move to the next example. Unfortunately, injury has kept me bedridden for the rest of the season. Well, this part here should be underlined, bedridden for. Well, does it sound right? Yes, it does sound right. So actually, I will go for no change. However, I will try the other options just to make sure that I'm correct. So, injury has kept me bedridden in the rest of the season? Well, this sounds incorrect. Kept me bedridden at the rest of the season? Again, this one is not correct. And the last one, kept me ridden with the rest of the season. Absolutely incorrect. For sure, in the test day, you don't have the time to test all the options of the test. So if you're sure about your answer, just go for it and don't check the other options. Do you feel right about the word towards? I kept towards working? Well, this one doesn't sound correct. So we're going to cancel no change. Now let's try the next option. I kept with working at it. It's not the best option here. I kept on working at it. Yeah, this is the right answer, but let's try the last one. Kept about working at it? No, option C is the best one. Now let's go for the next example. You know the process, so I want you to stop the video, try to answer the question, then come back to check your answer. Here we go. It took me a little while to understand exactly how an Alvin Ailey piece is meant to be interpreted. In contrast to a traditional long ballet such as Swan Lake. So in contrast to a traditional long ballet, it sounds right to me, but let's try the other options. Contrasting to, well, this one is not correct. In contrast with, maybe. Contrary with, this one doesn't feel right if I try it. So I'm between A and C. Is it in contrast to or in contrast with? Well, I will go for my instinct and say in contrast to. Although in contrast with feels right, but here we are comparing two nouns. The first one is this piece of Alvin Ailey, and the second one is Swan Lake. So when we are comparing two nouns together in one sentence, we go for in contrast to. Now let's go for the last question. Again, try to do it yourself first. Meteoroids are the smallest members of the solar system, ranging from large chunks of rocks and metal to minuscule fragments no larger than a grain of sand. Well, then here doesn't feel right at all. So I'm going to cancel no change. Then I'll try the next option, no larger than a grain of sand. Yeah, we do this in the comparison. We put larger than, smaller than, bigger than. So this is the correct answer, but let's check the other. No larger as a grain of sand doesn't sound right. No larger from a grain of sand, again, doesn't feel right. That's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you have learned something from our video. Don't forget that you can contact me on WhatsApp using this number on the screen and ask about our last offers. Thank you for watching. Good luck with your tests.